There's an uncomfortable question almost nobody asks anymore. Does your mind still work the same way it did a few years ago? Think about it honestly. You used to watch things all the way through. You could focus. You could sit in silence without reaching for your phone every few minutes. Now everything feels faster. Your attention disappears quickly. Silence feels uncomfortable. Your brain keeps searching for stimulation all the time. And the scariest part is that most people started treating this as normal. Now pay attention to something important. The problem is not just the amount of time you spend on your phone. The real problem is what it's doing to your brain every single day. Every short video, every notification, every endless scroll, all of it trains your mind to crave instant rewards constantly. After a while, normal activities start feeling boring. Reading feels difficult, thinking deeply feels exhausting. Even staying still becomes uncomfortable. For many people, real conversations now require effort because the brain has been conditioned for speed, for instant stimulation, for non-stop distraction. And maybe you've already noticed this without fully understanding it. You grab your phone for no reason. You open apps automatically. You switch videos before they even finish. You try to rest, but your mind still feels restless. None of this is happening by accident. Modern platforms compete for your attention every second. The longer you stay connected, the more profitable you become. Meanwhile, your ability to concentrate slowly weakens. Now think about this carefully. How many times did you open your phone for a few minutes and lose an entire hour without noticing? How many times did you try to focus on something important, but felt the urge to check notifications? How many times did you realize your mind no longer feels calm like it used to? This creates silent emotional exhaustion. Your thoughts become scattered. Your focus becomes weaker. Your anxiety grows slowly. And the worst part happens when your brain starts depending on constant stimulation just to feel engaged. Silence feels empty. Real life feels slow. Ordinary moments stop feeling meaningful. So remember this. Your attention is being trained every single day. Your mind is being shaped every single day. And whatever you consume repeatedly will eventually shape the way you think, feel, and live. If this video is opening your eyes, subscribe to the channel. The next videos will show you things most people still haven't realized about their own minds. Now think about this one last time. Maybe the greatest theft of modern life is not money. Maybe it's attention. Because when someone loses the ability to focus, they slowly begin losing control over their own life. Most people think they are tired because they work too much. That's not the real reason. Their minds never stop receiving stimulation. From the moment they wake up, their brains are flooded with information, notifications, videos, messages, music, short content, scrolling, noise. And after repeating this every day, the brain forgets how to slow down naturally. Now pay attention to this carefully. Rest is not the same thing as distraction. A distracted mind is still an exhausted mind. Many people spend hours online trying to relax, but their brains remain overstimulated the entire time. That's why so many feel mentally drained even after doing nothing. The mind never truly disconnects, and little by little, this changes the way people experience life itself. Patience becomes weaker, focus disappears faster, conversations feel shorter, moments feel emptier. Even happiness starts depending on constant stimulation. This is why so many people feel uncomfortable in silence now. Silence forces the brain to face itself, and a mind addicted to stimulation struggles when nothing is happening. Now think about your own routine. How often do you check your phone without any real reason? How often do you unlock the screen automatically? How often do you switch between apps without even thinking about it? These behaviors are not random anymore. They became automatic patterns, and every repeated pattern strengthens itself over time. This is how attention slowly gets destroyed. Not through one big moment, through thousands of small interruptions repeated every single day. And the scary part is that most people don't notice what's happening until their minds already feel exhausted. That's why protecting your attention has become one of the most important things in modern life. Because your focus shapes your decisions. Your decisions shape your habits, and your habits shape your future. If this video is making you see things differently, subscribe to the channel. There's a reason these conversations matter now more than ever. Most people are losing control of their attention without even realizing it. And once attention disappears, clarity disappears with it. So be careful with what constantly enters your mind, because your brain becomes whatever you repeatedly feed it. This is what makes the modern world so dangerous. The damage happens slowly, quietly, almost invisibly. Nobody wakes up one morning and suddenly loses the ability to focus. It happens through repetition, days of constant scrolling, months of endless stimulation, years of mental overload, and eventually the brain adapts to chaos. That's when silence starts feeling uncomfortable. Waiting becomes unbearable. Deep thinking feels exhausting. Now look around carefully. Most people cannot sit alone with their thoughts anymore. The moment silence appears, they reach for distraction. A video, a message, music, notifications, anything to avoid stillness. Because a constantly stimulated brain becomes afraid of emptiness. And this creates a serious problem. Without silence, clarity disappears. Without clarity, people lose direction. They stop questioning their habits. They stop reflecting on their choices. They stop understanding themselves. And little by little, life turns automatic. Wake up, consume, scroll, repeat, day after day. Many are physically awake, but mentally disconnected from reality. And the frightening part is that this lifestyle is now treated as normal behavior. But your mind was not designed for non-stop stimulation. Your brain needs stillness sometimes. It needs depth. It needs moments without noise. Because this is where real thinking happens. This is where creativity appears. This is where emotional balance begins returning. Now ask yourself something honestly. When was the last time you spent an entire hour without checking your phone? For many people, that question already feels uncomfortable. And that discomfort says a lot. Attention has become one of the most valuable things on earth. Every platform wants it. Every app competes for it. Every notification is designed to pull you back in. Because once attention gets captured, behavior becomes easier to control. That's why protecting your focus is no longer optional. It's necessary. The way you use your attention today will shape the person you become tomorrow. And most people still have no idea how much their minds are changing because of what they consume every day. Every day, your brain absorbs more information than most people from previous generations experienced in weeks. And almost nobody stops to ask what that information is doing internally. Because everything you consume leaves traces behind. The videos, the conversations, the headlines, the constant stimulation. Your mind adapts to whatever you repeatedly expose it to. This is why negative content changes emotional states so quickly. This is why endless scrolling leaves people mentally exhausted. This is why attention spans keep getting weaker. The brain learns through repetition, and repetition is shaping millions of minds right now. Now think about this carefully. If you spend hours consuming distraction every day, what kind of mind are you building? A focused one? A peaceful one? A disciplined one? Probably not. Most people today are feeding their minds chaos from the moment they wake up. Then they wonder why they feel anxious, unfocused, emotionally drained, and mentally restless. The brain cannot stay healthy while constantly overloaded. And the modern world profits from overload. That's the uncomfortable truth. The more distracted people become, the easier they are to influence. The easier they are to control emotionally. The easier they are to keep consuming without questioning anything. And this affects far more than attention. It changes behavior. It changes emotional stability. It changes identity. After enough repetition, people stop choosing consciously. They start reacting automatically. That's why protecting your mind matters so much now. Because your thoughts influence your habits. Your habits influence your future. And your future is being shaped by what enters your mind every single day. Now imagine spending years feeding your brain constant distraction, noise, and emotional overload. What kind of mental state does that create over time? This is why so many people feel empty, even while constantly entertained. The stimulation never stops, but real fulfillment never arrives either. And deep down, many already feel this happening. They feel mentally tired all the time. They feel emotionally disconnected. They feel unable to focus on anything meaningful for long. This is not weakness. It is conditioning. And most people still do not realize how deeply they've been conditioned by the modern digital world. At some point, you have to make a decision. Either you continue allowing the world to control your attention, or you take your mind back. Because if you do nothing, the distractions will never stop. The notifications will keep coming. The scrolling will continue. The noise will keep growing louder. And little by little, your ability to think clearly will keep fading. That is the real danger. Not just wasted time. A weakened mind. A distracted life. A brain that no longer knows how to stay present. Now imagine living like this for years. Constant stimulation, constant noise, constant mental exhaustion. Many people already live this way without realizing how deeply it affects them. They struggle to focus. They struggle to feel calm. They struggle to enjoy simple moments without reaching for another distraction. And the worst part is that they think this is normal, but it doesn't have to stay this way. Your attention can recover. Your focus can become stronger again. Your mind can become clear again. But that only happens when you become intentional about what you consume. Because every piece of content shapes you. Every habit trains your brain. Every repeated behavior builds your future, little by little. This is why protecting your attention is one of the most important decisions you can make today. Attention is life. Whatever controls your attention eventually controls your direction. So start paying attention to what constantly enters your mind. Pay attention to what steals your energy. Pay attention to what keeps you mentally restless. Because once you become aware of it, you begin taking control again. And that changes everything. If this video made you think differently, subscribe to the channel. The next videos will help you understand the modern mind, attention, discipline, and the hidden habits shaping millions of lives right now. Most people never stop long enough to question what's happening to them. You just did. And that alone already puts you ahead of many others. Maybe the most dangerous thing about modern life is this. Most people never realize what's happening to their minds until they already feel exhausted, distracted, and emotionally disconnected. The world keeps getting louder, faster, more addictive. And every day, attention becomes harder to protect. But the moment you become aware of it, something begins to change. You start thinking more clearly. You start noticing your habits differently. You start understanding what is stealing your focus, your energy, and your peace. And that awareness matters because your attention shapes your reality. Your habits shape your identity, and your identity shapes your future. So don't let constant distraction decide the direction of your life. Take your mind back. Protect your focus. Protect your peace. Protect the person you are becoming. And if this video brought value to you, subscribe to the channel. There's much more ahead about attention, discipline, mental clarity, and the hidden forces shaping modern life every single day.